Okay. Welcome, everyone, for today's regular meeting, Thursday, December 21st, 2023, 6:30 p.m. Roll call, please.
Mayor Elma Beltran,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabrina Rodriguez, Councilmember Juanita Molina,
Present.
Councilmember Diego Garza,
Present.
Councilmember Kathy Solorio, Treasurer Michelle Lopez. Thank you.
Please rise for the flag salute. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right, let's see here. We got presentations, no presentations. We need an addition. So, Sonia, can you? We're adding just so
Oh,
the
yes.
council can know what we're
Yes,
adding.
we need to add the ROPS, adopt the resolution number 2023-54 approving the recognized obligation payment schedule 24-25 for July 24 through June 25 fiscal year administrative budget. This is the ROPS, what they call the ROPS. This is an annual resolution that we do.
What's the number?
It's, yes, 2023-54. It's 55. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 55. 55.
Can you repeat the resolution again, please?
It's on your packet she gave you as well. Okay.
I still would like to repeat it, we would like it repeated again, please.
Go ahead, they want you to repeat it.
Okay, it's adopt resolution number 2023-55 approving recognized obligation payment schedule. That's where ROPS comes in. 24-25 for July 2024 through June 2025 for the fiscal year 2024 through 25 administrative budget.
Okay. So do we have a motion to add on this item?
Motion.
Motion by Diego, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Sabrina. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
I have an addition.
Is it an urgent matter?
Yes.
What's the urgency?
I have an addition.
What's the urgency? Because it has to be something that will affect the city.
It is,
Okay,
What-
what's the urgency, please?
here we go again.
That's just the Brown Act, I'm sorry.
I have an addition. Dorothy, can you put this on record, please? I am making a motion to call for a special meeting for the next Wednesday, December 27 at 4 p.m. to discuss and act on a service agreement and resolution from Asher and Winder LLP to serve as special counsel for Parlier City Council members.
Okay. Well, that's not an addition for a special meeting. That's for the next, when do you want that special meeting?
Next
That's not an
week.
addition. So
Next
that's
week.
not, that does not apply to this.
I second the
That's,
motion.
it's,
Just to put it on the record is what they mean. And they mean to put this on the record that they would like to have a special meeting on what date?
on Wednesday,
Wednesday.
the 27th of
The 20th,
December
okay.
at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, so that's not an addition for this item.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Yes,
So,
I can send it to you, Dorothy.
yeah, so then. No. Consensus. You don't need it. It's on the record. Thank you.
Okay.
So now we can move on to the next item. Is there any other items that we would like to add? Hearing none. So we can go ahead and move on to public comments. Is there anybody from the public that would like to approach the podium at this time? Thank you.
Yes, as most of you know me, I'm Ben Thomas. I represent the advocacy ministry for the homeless here in Parlier. And I'm here tonight to register a formal complaint on the manner in which the presentation I made at last meeting was recorded. It is an insult to me personally, and it is a violation of the Brown Act and the requirements of the Brown Act with respect to any business that transpires here at the council chambers.
Dorothy, you didn't put
As a citizen, I am entitled to express my views on various topics that affect our city, especially in the health area that it afflicts many homeless people. So what happened here, I got a copy of the minutes, just a one sentence insult. It's not even a recorded, documented illustration of what I presented. The minutes read, Ben Tamez, president of the Homeless Advocacy Group, spoke in favor of the homeless. That's it. I placed the city on notice, making reference specifically to 3 very important Superior Court cases that I feel, as a citizen, you don't have to agree with me. As a citizen, I feel that the city is in violation of. You know what those 3 cases are: the Martin versus Boise, Idaho case, the Johnson versus Grand Rapids, Oregon, and the Kincaid versus Fresno lawsuit that the plaintiffs successfully won. And finally, after I gave you those points of information that should be taken seriously by you people, after all, you do represent and you will work in defense of the city's interest. But apparently, you people are disrespecting anybody who comes here to this podium and politely and ethically presents very important information. We're supposed to dialogue here. It's not a one-way communication street. And finally, I gave you a very clear and serious warning that we are contemplating filing a lawsuit against the city of Parlier in violation of those 3 court cases and the the case law that they represent. I want to close my, oh, you don't have the clock going? I want to close my 3-minute presentation by saying that I demand, I'm not here asking, I come here as a respectful citizen of Parlier, lifelong citizen. I don't come here holding my hat in my hand, asking you for permission. I come here to communicate with you, and I'm a serious person at that. I demand that these minutes be changed to include those points of information that I delivered that day. Whether you agree or disagree with it, that's not the point. The point is that I'm entitled to have that information part of the recorded document, because that's precisely what we're going to be using as part of our lawsuit when the appropriate time comes to take the proper legal action. So I demand that information, and you have it because it was on video, and you have it because it was recorded. I need that information placed in the minutes appropriately, the way the law requires you to. Not the way Ben Tamez is requesting it. The law requires that. So I expect to see a change in that.
Mr. Thomas, your 3 minutes are up on my phone. But I have a question. So would you like the minutes to reflect the 3 points of interest that you went over?
The 3 court cases and also the information I clearly gave you about the 8th Amendment, that I put you on notice that because the homeless were swept away from their encampments twice.
So we will,
You know,
okay.
I'm not finished yet, Mayor. Please don't interrupt me. See, that's your problem.
time is
I'm not
over.
finished.
Your
She
time is
asked
up.
me a question. I'm answering it.
And I'm
No,
directing,
just be quiet, please. Don't make a fool out of yourself the way you always do.
thank you.
So I need that information recorded, and I expect it to be part of the actual formal minutes.
Okay, thank you. So it's up to you, Dorothy. You're the one that actually does this. We are not ones that actually do the minutes, so it's up to you on how you've been trained and you've gone to the trainings for the minutes. It's your decision. Thank you. Anybody else?
It's not
Anybody
her
else?
decision, it's a law
Eh,
requirement. You should, what you
thank
should do, Mayor,
Is
is
there
you should
anybody else?
admonish
Hearing
her,
none? Oh, go ahead.
that you
We're
should
done. We're
admonish
not going
her
back and forth.
to,
Go ahead.
that you should admonish her to appropriately, no, well,
Mr.
you
Thomas.
you interfere,
That's why it's not good.
you interfere,
Now we're back and forth.
and you're
Thank you.
rude, and you're unprofessional, and I have to finish what I have to say.
It's fine.
Because we follow the rule of law,
Okay.
and I'm speaking truth
And
to
I'm
power.
recognizing that,
that
and I'm still.
You
it's
should
still-
admonish her as your subordinate
Don't,
that she
okay.
needs to accomplish this.
okay, thank you. She's been doing it for over 20 years. Thank you.
Well, it
So
doesn't.
we can
it
go
doesn't-
ahead and move
well,
on
look,
to the
it's a
next
one-sentence
person,
thing.
please, Mr.
For a
Thomas.
person who has been doing it for 20 years,
You've been
this is
there
not
for past,
representative.
for the,
Well,
more
you
than
always
3
throw
minutes,
you
you're
always
going to
throw a one-liner in towards the end of your.
It's a
Yeah,
shame that
you
we
can.
don't have
Yeah, but you throw that
Obviously,
one-liner in
Please stop.
to try to make me
Stop.
look. No, I'm
Do I
not going
have
to
to
stop.
adjourn the meeting?
No,
let
I'm
me
not
just
gonna
take a
stop.
Okay,
No.
let's take a 5-minute recess.
she's-
It's not
She's-
working.
she-
So let's
she's
take a
been
5-minute
at it
recess.
for 20 years,
Let's take a 5-minute recess.
and this
Thank
is
you. Okay. All right, we're back on. All right, now we're back from recess. What's the time? 6:48. Okay. So we can move on to, is there anybody else that was wanting to approach the podium? I believe there was somebody. Not after all? No. Okay. Then we can move on to the next item, which is the consent calendar. Is there any item on the consent calendar that we would like to pull?
Number 2.
I also want to pull two.
Okay. All right, so do we have a motion to approve item number 1?
Motion.
Motion. Diego, second. Sabrina. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5 yes. And go ahead with item number 2. Sabrina. Yeah.
With number 2, just to go off of what Mr. Thomas had said, if you could review the video just to make sure you add some of those key points that he did, I believe, said for on the record. If we can just go back and just make sure maybe the points are on there. That's why I pulled those.
And for the record, it was Bertha. Dorothy wasn't here at that time, so
Yeah.
Bertha is the one that actually did the minutes. But
Councilmember, if you'd like to make a motion to that effect, that those items be added to the minutes.
Oh.
well, they want to review the video first, make sure that he did state that, to put that on the record, because if you need to be precisely on what you state, what you want on the record, so it could be on the record. If you don't say you want this on the record, it's not going to be verbatim. So that's what I would like for it.
So
So we're not discussing it any further, so that is the motion. Is that what you want
I-
to do?
I still need to comment on the two. 'Cause I
Yeah,
put
Yeah.
them in.
I want to put motion to approve the minutes with the review of the video to put those points of our public speaker.
Okay, I'm also on the same page like Sabrina. You're right. I did review the tape again, the video, and yes, you stated once and twice for the record and your PowerPoints. That's true, and I want to apologize to you. I feel so bad the way you were treated in the last meeting, okay, by the mayor. I really apologize because I'm 110% for the homeless. As you know, everybody knows I'm for them, as well as the police officers. So please, Ben, it's an apology.
So do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Janie. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. So now we can move on to item number 3. We have a public hearing from the tenant. Sabrina made the first, and then Janie made the second.
Item number 3, City Council. Item number 3, City Council consideration of tentative parcel map 2023-03.
Thank you, Madam City Manager, members of the council. We're going to have Wyatt Shazinski, the Assistant City Planner, make a brief presentation on this.
Sure.
If Bertha can put this up on the wall here to give you a graphic, we'll commence.
That's good right there.
Okay, good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Before you tonight, I'm going to be presenting agenda item number 3, which is for tentative parcel map 2303. Colin Mullaney of Precision Civil Engineering on behalf of MD Ventures is proposing the subdivision of assessor's parcel number 355-041-16. This site is approximately 1.87 acres in total size and is located just northwest of the intersection of Manning and Newmark. The site has existing structures on it, and no construction is proposed at this time. Currently, this is where the Adventist Health Building is, and also a vacant office building. The subdivision of the parcel would result in two resulting parcels. Parcel A would be approximately 0.71 acres, while parcel B would be 0.96 acres. An additional 0.2 acres would be dedicated in fee to the city and would not be attached to either of the resulting parcels. The project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act under CEQA Guidelines Section 15315, which includes minor land divisions. It qualifies for the exemption because no construction is proposed, and the project consists of a division of property of 4 or fewer parcels in an urbanized area. At this time, staff is recommending that you approve resolution number 2023-54, adopting a class 15 categorical exemption from further environmental analysis for the project, and also approving tentative parcel map 2303. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Where's this location at?
Just north of the Taco Bell,
Oh, okay.
the Adventist Health site.
Oh, okay. So that whole entire area?
That parcel, it's almost 2 acres in size. The Adventist Health Building would be parcel A, which would be a resulting parcel of 0.71 acres. And there's a vacant office building to the south, which would be parcel B, and that'd be 0.96 acres.
Okay.
Yeah. The property with Taco Bell on it is immediately to the south of what is shown here.
Okay.
So it's just to divide the property. Correct.
It would just result in 2 parcels, whereas these 2 buildings are currently existing on the same parcel. It's a movement of boundary lines.
Okay.
But it's for a multi-family, where is it at?
So right now, A is on the high density residential area.
Parcel A is, I believe, high density. It's a split general plan designation. And so where the parcel A boundary is would be high density, and parcel B, I can't remember exactly. It's in the staff report, would be,
Community commercial?
yes.
Okay.
So what this would result in is it would get rid of the split designation. It would make both of those solid.
Okay.
What is projected to come?
They're both existing buildings, and no construction or other application is attached to this currently.
Okay.
It would simply give the property owner the opportunity to sell off the parcel that's not currently being used, even though there's an existing
Wait,
structure
sorry,
on
he
it.
doesn't have to sell the whole
Right.
entire property.
Right.
Yes.
So there's nothing,
There's nothing pending that's coming to the other building, correct, right now?
There's no application currently.
is there any other questions? Yeah, it's always got to go to the public. Okay, no other questions from the council, so I can open up the public hearing and then we can take a vote. All right, this public hearing is now open. Is there anybody here that would like to approach the podium for any discussion on this item? Hearing none, this public hearing is now closed. So do I have a motion to approve item number,
Motion.
where is it at?
3.
3.
Oops.
Right here.
All right,
Resolution
thank you.
54.
Number 3.
It's 54. The other one was 55?
55.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did.
the other
Yeah,
one
we
was
haven't got there
55.
Okay, I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, so resolution number 2023-54. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion Diego, do I have a second?
Second.
Second Janie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Now we can move on to the next item.
The next item is for consideration of a zoning text amendment to include barber shops and salons as a permitted use in the C5 General Commercial Zone District.
Thank you again, Madam City Manager, members of the council. Again, we're going to have Wyatt Shazinski do a brief staff report on this proposed zoning text amendment.
Yes, so I'll be doing the presentation for zoning text amendment 2310. The Community Development Department received an application for a barber shop in an existing building at the southwest corner of Manning and Mendocino Avenue. That site is within the C5 zone district where barber shops are not currently in allowed use. As a result, the applicant has subsequently applied for a zoning text amendment in order to allow barber and beauty shops within the C5 zone district. After reviewing this request, staff have found that barber and beauty shops meet the purpose of the C5 zone district and support the zoning text amendment. As a result, staff recommends that the City Council introduce ordinance number 2023-04, waiving the first reading, which would amend the zoning text to allow barber and beauty shops in the C5 zone district, as well as associated clarifying language within the zoning text.
I think they're already currently kind of working on that building. I've seen it
Yes.
being under construction.
Yes,
huh?
it looks pretty nice in there. He's done a lot of work
And it's been
inside.
on for a long time, so I don't have no questions. Anybody else?
And keeping in mind that we're not actually asking you to approve a barber shop or salon. We're
Just the barber for that zoning area.
Yes, exactly.
But I know it's for that
But,
particular.
yeah, and then the rest of it would be handled at staff level if we move forward.
Right. Any questions? Hearing none, so then we can open this public hearing. Public hearing is now open. Anybody from the public would like to address this item? Hearing none, this public hearing is now closed. Do I have a motion to approve ordinance number 2023-04?
Motion.
Diego? Second. Kathy? All those in favor? Motion carries. Any opposed? Hearing none, 5 yes. Motion
Thank you,
carries.
Mayor. And we'll be bringing this back for the second reading in January.
Thank you.
Next item is to review the security detail, or review our policy where we have security detail for events without alcohol. And I know this is something that you wanted to bring up, Mayor.
Well, because normally policy changes with council, and I don't know where down the road it changed, because I know that any event that happened at the community center or the senior center, if there was no alcohol involved, they didn't have to they were not required to get security. So now, one of them that came up was the rental of the community center, the senior center is $400, and it's gonna cost the person $800 just to get security. So it's more than the actual venue. That doesn't make no sense, especially if there's no alcohol. So if you're gonna have a funeral, if you're gonna have a baby shower, all those events will fall under any event that would have to require security. So I wanted this on the agenda because I cannot remember when we ever changed that. And that policy, usually policies like that usually always come to the council. I know that we've changed it in the past with several councils from the past on the amounts and anything else, mainly the amounts that we would change, but we never changed the actual requiring of security for non-alcoholic events. So that would be anything. So I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I think that it's just not fair to make them do that extra expense when there is no alcohol.
Isn't the deposit for the senior center $200?
No, it's a security that I'm talking about.
No, because you said $400, and I think it's $200 for the senior center.
What was brought to my attention, the deposit gets back. I mean, they get reimbursed. It's gonna cost them $400 to rent the senior center, and it's $800
to get security for 4 hours. So it doesn't, it's just too much of an expense.
No.
Well,
Now for the question that I had on that was what's the amount of security? Because I know like on the one that we just got today for the community center, it says if it's alcohol, it's 6 security guards. If there's no alcohol, there's 4. But then on the senior center, it's only requiring 2.
yes.
The last time, I mean, I have a party coming up, and from the 6, because I will have alcohol, is only like
Yeah.
$800.
The only change that I was asking for is nothing that with the alcohol, that can stay the same, is I don't see why you would require, so like, okay, you're gonna have a nonprofit come in and do an event at the community center. Well, that still falls under events. So you will require for that nonprofit to also have to have security, because it says events. It doesn't say specific events, or whether it's a funeral, or if it's a wedding or a quinceañera or a baby shower. It just says any event at that location that does not have alcohol will require security. So we've never had that in the past, and it doesn't make sense to have security when it's not even necessary, especially if it's gonna be a funeral, baby shower, or
A child's birthday
a
party.
child's birth, any kind of event. A nonprofit that wants to come in and do an event here, now you're gonna have to require them to have also security, because that falls under events.
I think my biggest concern is just having the security there, because of the fact of the matter that anybody can put down on an application that there will be no alcohol, but in the fact of the matter that there's still going to be alcohol. That's
Well,
just my perspective.
You have staff there, so it's not unsupervised, it's supervised by staff.
I don't believe that's true because I have been at events that there is no staff there.
they're
Staff comes,
supposed to be.
yes, I have asked that question before, and I know there is a staff member there to open and close, and then who comes to clean up,
They're
the
not
trash.
supposed to. It's not. See, this is where I'm saying these
It's not-
changes
yeah.
were made, and I don't know who changed them, because that usually we're the policymakers.
Mm-hmm.
Council is policymakers. The staff don't change policy on the fly. Like, okay, I'm going to change it today. This makes sense to me. I'm just going to change it, and that's the new policy. It always has to come to us to approve it or give it the blessing. Like, okay, that sounds good. That makes sense for us to do that change, but that never came to us.
I asked the question, has it always been like this? And I was told, yes,
No.
it has been.
I've been here 9 years, and I've never seen that happen.
So
And
did
my
it
thing,
change with them?
well, that's what I had asked. They said, no, the application didn't change. But I do know that I guess it's only for certain people who rent it, it was required. So,
Oh.
and that's
That's not fair.
that's not fair. And I've always said that. But again, I have been at events when there's no
There should be-
security and there's no staff.
There should be staff, because that's why you have staff for events.
Well, the
I
staff,
have staff that are supposed to be, I'm just gonna say this, because years ago, when my husband first started working here, that's what he started to do. That was his first job when he started, was at the events. And it's always been with, even when Hilda was here, she worked in the events. Now you have Walda, you have
We have staff that
staff
work
that
at
are
the
actually
events now.
designated for that.
Yes.
So it's up to who's their supervisor to schedule them in for those events, to make sure that there is someone there present.
We have staff at the
Is there
events.
any way to get a hold of older rentals agreements, just to see if it was on there and when did it change, and if it could be brought back?
To me, it's
If it
like, I'm
changed, it would've
telling you,
been
I've
an
been here
ordinance or
9
something,
years,
right?
and it's never been changed. It never came to us, because I asked, okay, so if it was changed, give me the agenda where it was changed. That was never presented to me.
So when you started, this wasn't
That
the
was
agreement?
not on there.
And
no.
it
It
took
changed somehow.
and it barely came up 9 years later?
Yeah, because a resident brought it to my attention.
well, this is something,
Aware of it.
My opinion, this is my thing is, I understand if it's a day party, a child's birthday or a baby shower or a funeral. But if it's an evening event that's being done at the community center or at the senior center, I feel we need security. Because if something happens, we're liable. The city is liable if something happens
Well-
in our buildings. That is my opinion.
That's fine, and you're entitled to your opinion, but to me, it's like we're kind of gouging our residents to pay more when it's not even necessary. If it was something that it was necessary, it would have been done years ago.
Well, the situation.
And I'm not done, Kathy. And the
never
thing is that right now, people want to still have things for their families, and it's not cheap. $800 for 2 security, because now you're forcing them to go with only the securities that we use. So guess what? There's the price gouging there. Now you're going to charge them they're going to charge what they feel, because they know you have to go through them. So they're forced to pay that amount because now they know you have to come to us, because this is the agreement that the city of Parlier has, that we are the only ones that you come to. So now you're going to have to pay what we say. So you guys can go ahead, and I wanted it as a discussion to kind of protect our
I know this has
citizens.
come up before, and I think I'll discuss it with Sonia further, but hopefully in the beginning of the year, we can look into a company that the city will have a contract with, and we will say this is what you can charge, and this is, and we'll send it out to bid, and they can all bid and give us the best deal, the one that gives us the least amount that would charge our residents.
I would like to also see what other venues do you see that have that security, because I can tell you that the one that we're going to
I'm not talking about the
No,
alcohol,
but this is what I want to compare it to everything else, not just because Parlier wants to put security there when I think that it's unnecessary, because if it's an event that is going to be a big celebration, they know they're going to have security, because they do get it here. They've done it in many years in the past. Like I said, it's never been that way. It all of a sudden just changed. I asked several times for that agenda where it was changed and approved by council, and there's no agenda, no nothing, because I know I've been here 9 years and I have not seen that come before us. But to me, it's like, if it's not necessary, because you're going to have to also, if it's a nonprofit, you're going to have to do that. And you can't do this person, that person. You got to do everybody across the board, whoever it is. Because then you're picking and choosing again of who's going to follow these rules and who's not. That's not fair.
No, I was talking about the people
No, I'm
who
not
have
saying you. I know you're bringing that
alcohol, the alcohol and things like that. I was going to talk to Sonia about this and get a contract with one company, and that'll be the company that we use. And we say, well, these are the prices that you are allowed.
I say that we allow them to seek who they feel. Let them search for who they can find. That's why I can give them a better deal instead of us still forcing them to come to us.
And that we have the list is because those are the only ones that have come in and filled out their insurance and their business license and things
So
like that.
what you do with the residents, there's always a solution. We can't be just, got to think outside the box. The other way you can do it is when you have a resident that comes in and applies for an application for the venue, you tell them, okay, you need security. These are the requirements for the security to be able to even participate and be here, because these are the requirements that the city, we do that with the events. When they have the event in April, they have to have that specific requirement. If not, they cannot be security, right? So that's the same thing. You could still do that and give them the option for them to find someone that's going to be more affordable to them, because we're just, again, making it a little harder for them. And and we cannot pick and choose, okay, you guys are going to get this deal, you guys are not. And it's everybody across the board, the same steps, the same process, because when you say events, that means that even nonprofits, because they're having events. And I don't see that that's fair if it's not necessary. That's an extra expense for the person that really doesn't need it. And staff always was supposed to be there. I don't know, again, when that changed.
Okay, now, can I say something, please? Always keep it in mind, and we know this for a fact. Safety goes first, okay? And if they don't have alcohol, they're saying they're not having alcohol, they don't want security guards, you don't know what they go do in their car. You don't know if they're going to have a fight in there, just it happens a fight. Who's going to be liable? The city is. Why? Because you don't have to have security guards. And then if you have employees and they get hurt to monitor and be there for the event, there's another lawsuit. So we need security guards. Think inside the box. Safety goes first. That's why for the officers, we put them their fence, because safety goes first. Keep that in the box, please. Thank
sue
you.
the
And
city
we
for-
cannot change, because one resident called me, we have to think safety, bottom line. That's
Well,
my opinion.
That
Thank you.
never changed. I don't know when it changed. That's why I was asking for the where the actual agenda where it states that that was something that council approved, and it was never changed by council. It just changed somewhere internally. And again, you can't sue if something happens outside in front of City Hall. You're gonna sue the city because you got into an altercation outside? No, that's, that's not how the law works. But anyway, we're not
No,
gonna
they're gonna
discuss
take it
that.
out.
Again, that
Legal
is what my
septic.
suggestion is. It's up to you guys. You guys have the majority. It's obvious that you already made up your minds. Let's just move forward, so we can continue with the
Diego
next
has a
item.
question.
So we can just move on. I'll open it up to the public. So Diego will be the last one, and then I'll open it up to the public. Thank you.
Bertha, do we only have one security company that we have for us, or do we have multiple?
It's just recommendations,
Yeah.
isn't it?
We only have two.
I think we have two right now.
And the reason why we have to go through them is because they're considered a vendor
They brought all the
through
paperwork. that we
exactly,
need.
and they have to pay like a business
A business license. they have to
license to
provide
the city,
insurance.
the fee, all that stuff. So
How much is a business license?
I
Not
don't know off the
much.
top of my
Like $30 or something like that? While they're charging $800 for 4 hours, but okay. Now we can go ahead and open it to the public, and that way. Sure we can.
No, I just want to say that when I rented the senior center, we had hired 2 security guards. We didn't pay $800.
Wow.
$800 would probably be maybe
for mine, because
maybe for the
mine for
seniors,
6 is-
for the community center, because you got to do
They're-
6.
They were told
Yeah.
that their rates went up, so I don't know. I don't deal with their negotiations over there. I just know what I'm hearing. And that's a concern that was
clear.
brought to my attention, and I'm trying to address it because I don't see how that's fair. But now that we're done up here, we can open it up to the public so we can continue, move on. Is there anybody that would like to address that item? Okay.
Some of you may recall, I'm not going to date myself, but I ran Tamez Security Patrol for 20 years here in Parlier. Prior to that, I was a police officer. I know a little bit about safety. I know a little bit about protecting city property, because I did it for 20 years. And I also did the Parlier Unified School District, all of their events, football games, dances. A word to the wise, I concur with Kathy that safety comes first. In this day and age, when we're seeing sporadic mass incidents, ugly, I don't need to go into detail, we're all familiar with them. You need uniformed personnel on site. And it doesn't have to be a police officer, which is fine and dandy if you can use your own city police. But you must do it for the sake of safety, first of all, and secondly, for the sake of personal liability. I always carried a $1 million minimum package, full workers' comp, the whole 9 yards. The suggestion I would make for you to do very specifically, put together a policy, like I heard what Bertha was saying, she's in that line. A policy where you base how many security guards are required for an event of, let's say, 50 people versus 200 people. That's the way it works. I did events that brought in 2,500 people to the park when Leo Valdivia used to make his huge jaripeos there, big events. I would assign as many as 30 to 35 security officers. I thank God that we never had one single liability issue to defend. Very important. So think about it. If you would like, I could even offer you a little bit of experience in case you have difficulty in putting together that policy so that you're not overbearing to the community, requiring an $800 fee for a event such as a birthday party or whatever. It doesn't have to be that way. You can put a policy together that for everybody, keeping safety as your number one priority.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else? Hearing none? Okay, so then, keep in mind that it has to be everybody the same. You can't, again, only certain people, because that's what's the complaint, and the community's been saying that. And when it got to my attention, that is why I'm addressing it, because it changed. And funerals, I don't know if you had funerals where you were at security there, and that's an event. Anything that is, when you're using the actual facility and you're having some gathering, it doesn't say only certain specific events. It says events and security for a certain amount. It didn't even have a certain amount of people. So,
You're saying that you can make an exception for funerals.
yeah, well, but again,
Well, funeral,
It's-
is
it's-
it funerals or funeral luncheons?
yeah,
Luncheons, yeah, because we're saying funeral like it's a reception.
yeah.
So, yeah,
Well,
yeah. But it's an event.
it's an event,
considered
because the
an
way
event.
it's worded now, it doesn't
Yes.
specify that.
No,
And
it
and I
doesn't.
know that there's been people that have been using the facilities and had no security, again, which goes to picking and choosing as always. And that's what the community sees. They see that all the time, and that's why this complaint came in.
Does the council want to do that now, make an exception for funeral receptions?
Well, I think we're gonna have to bring it back, because I would like to
To
see what you're
have
putting
it
together.
reviewed, yeah.
Because I just don't wanna say yes, that, and then it turns out to be something else, and then we get more complaints again.
If I would like for it to be reviewed, and I did bring up what Mr. Thomas said about it's the number of people what you're having it for. It does ask, I believe, in the rental agreement, more or less how many people you plan to have there. We need to, I think, based it off that on security, because if you're gonna have, maybe an event for 30,
Yeah,
40 people, you're gonna have to have 2 to 4 security
That doesn't make
guards.
no sense. I think that you
It
also
just
need
needs to
to
be
check
reviewed.
with the other cities, what they're doing, other venues, what they do, because I know that they don't. So I think we're making it a little harder we want to rent out our venues, and you're making it almost impossible for people not to even want to come here. This is why you get the complaints with people are saying, there's a music down the street, there's a wedding, there's a quinceañera down the street. Why do you think? Because, again, they're not gonna wanna rent the hall when it's too expensive and it's too difficult to even try to have it here. So and I'm sure, Chief, you get those complaints all the time. I know, because they send me messages all the time from Facebook. They even send video, audio.
At houses, yeah.
Yeah, of all these parties that are
Walking
happening
the
out there,
streets.
because you're making it almost impossible for them to even want to come and utilize our venues.
So if we could just have it compared, I guess, Bertha,
Yeah,
to other cities.
Yeah,
Bertha.
that's a good thing.
And
Bertha.
actually, other cities have a list of vendors that you can only go with. I've seen
Bertha.
that.
But for,
So in talking
I'm
about
sure
amount of,
for
excuse me,
women,
I'm talking,
only when
talking
it's
about
all,
the, excuse me,
right?
excuse me.
It's not?
Mayor, you're talking out of order.
Which one is?
Mayor, you're
There's a-
talking out of order.
We're having a discussion.
No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
not supposed to discuss. So I'm talking to Bertha about a business.
No, I
Yeah,
I
okay.
told her something, so that's what we're just finishing up. Other cities have a list of vendors, and if it's for anything that they want to bring in, decoration, security, caterers.
Even caterers,
yeah.
everything, anything to have.
Because I know a lot of
Or
people
events.
I
come
think it's
here.
important for us to kind of check what they're doing out in the
Everybody
other
else,
cities.
yeah.
Yeah, because we're just making it all simple.
I think we should have a preferred vendors too.
With an outside vendor, and they sent me a list of DJs and caterers and florists that.
Okay. So then that's how we can kind of like work on something.
Yes.
And then bring it back to us for us to kind of like look over too, because again, I don't want it to, and then the picking and choosing, that's how they feel that they're being treated as, okay, I know somebody else was there and had whatever they wanted, and
Wow.
I'm here, and now it's impossible, for me to get what I want to do. So.
You done?
Go ahead.
You done? Go ahead. Okay. Bertha, as long as we have safety first, okay? If it's one security guard or two security guards, as long as, like Ben said, they're visible, okay? For the minimum amount of people
So-
there is.
So then
Thank
we're
you.
bringing it back to the next meeting. Okay, so we'll just do that. We'll table it for the next meeting, and now we can go on to council comments. Sonia, you can go ahead.
Council comments. So I just wanted to remind everybody to have a,
Oh, that's right, I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Go ahead. Your,
oh,
yes, the one that you went over.
sorry.
Mm-hmm, the rocks.
So,
So I guess you already explained it to them, so
Yes.
do you guys have any questions about the ROPS addition that she went
I
over?
felt like we already did it.
Yeah, I know, that's how I felt too. Any questions? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve? The ROPS, the
The
one that
ROPS
we had,
resolution?
the one that she went over in the beginning.
Yes. That's 55.
Is there a motion on the floor?
I'm motion.
Diego, and is there a second?
Second.
Sabrina, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. So Diego motion, Sabrina second, 5 yes. Okay, go ahead, Sonia.
I just want to wish everybody a wonderful Christmas, and I also want to remind everyone to come to our New Year's. So that's what I wanted to do. We're gonna have a fabulous New Year's. We're already decorating, so come to City Hall, purchase your tickets, purchase a table, bring your family.
Thank you. Go ahead, next person.
Okay, I want to say thank you to everybody that helped with the Christmas event last Saturday. All the fire department, everybody that was there, chief, the programs that brought food for our residents. I want to thank all of them for it. On December the 11th, I requested copies of the City of Parlier legal service agreements for our city attorney, Costanzo and Associate. City of Parlier has copies of 2019 legal service agreement, but there is no record at City Hall of the agreement with the signatures or the date. As for the attorney's 2022 amended agreement, City of Parlier has no record on file. Also, there is no record on file at City Hall of RFP, request for proposal, for Costanzo and Associate, who are representing the City of Parlier as our attorneys. Mr. Costanzo, if you have any of these forms, can you please bring some to City Hall tomorrow? We checked, Bertha's checked. There's nothing in our system, in our files, of any of your agreements that are signed and dated. Council, I also want to advise you all that I have met with the district attorney and that it share various things with them, and as well as the item that I have been trying for over 6 months to put on the agenda. I just feel as a council member, I have a right to put something on the agenda, and I know a lot of people have heard me, have seen it, cannot get on to the agenda. If it's not one thing, it's another. So, that being said, I did the special meeting that I did put on record that I would like to have put, Sonia, since you are city manager. That is your job to do the special meeting for next week.
Councilmember, not to interrupt, but we talked about this in closed session. We talked about this in private
In open session,
exchanges.
Mr. Costanzo,
And I'm
you can
just-
talk to me afwards, please. This is my time.
I'll give
I
you the
am
floor,
done.
Neil, 'cause
I am
you're on
done.
here too.
I
I'm
am
just
done.
trying to warn her to steer clear of private communications in closed session
Well,
or
In closed sessions, I have not,
the client. That's
but,
And
like I said what I had to say. I'm done. Thank you. Thank you for listening to me.
So, let me just, for point of clarification on the actual documents that are internal documents, again, I've said this many times, that's internal controls. Neil has no RFP, that's not his job. The ones that do the RFPs would be Bertha, unless it's something for engineers, depending on who is doing the RFP for the city and what subject we're doing for a proposal.
And the RSP, I put it.
RFP.
Okay, excuse me, RFP, a request for a proposal. I put it on there because that was asked of me when I tried to put the item on the agenda, that we needed that.
Yeah.
I was told we did not need it, and then my item did not even get on the agenda.
Who told you that you did not need it? We
Sonia,
always
who
do
told
it.
you
That's just the legal
Sonia,
process.
who told you that I needed it? Sonia,
What was that?
who told you that I needed a RFP?
No, you brought in something from
The other attorney.
our municipal code or something.
But who told you that I needed an RFP?
Anytime you're going to hire a contractor, you
Who told
have
you
to
that I
do an
needed one?
RFP. That's just a equal opportunity.
Well, the
It's
mayor
part of the
said,
equal
Okay,
opportunity.
Wait, let her speak. Who told you I needed an RFP?
well, the mayor said, but that's,
Yeah, I said it because it's equal opportunity.
but-
It's like you're only
but
selecting
what else
one
did- what else
person
did you say?
and not giving an
else did
opportunity
you
to
say?
anybody else.
you have,
You said we did not need it.
No,
Because we went through the codes,
no,
through the
you
codes.
found in the codes.
and I brought them to you, and you looked at them, and you said, you do not need them.
Because according to the codes, from what you found, we were able to
Okay.
hire
So
him.
Thank you.
we've
So we do-
always hired, we've always done an error, especially when it comes to hiring an engineer, to hiring a planner. You have, that's the legal,
But
I was there.
the
I was
legal
there.
process is called
public-
equal
I was there when
opportunity.
Sonia said we didn't need it.
Do not,
Council
excuse me.
comments.
But there is a process. There is a process.
There is a process, and that's the equal
There is a
opportunity.
process, and the process.
And you
would-
can't just go and handpick and have this side meeting with this attorney and one council member make a deal with that attorney. You don't do that. There is no other city ever has done that except here in Parlier, of course. That's what always happens
No,
here.
there is a
So,
process, and the
We
process.
have Sabrina. We're not gonna go back and forth.
Okay, then.
Please, that was
Let
her.
Sabrina-
That was
Sabrina,
Sabrina's
your
next,
turn.
because if not, we're gonna get
So
stuck on that.
Sabrina.
Okay. I just wanted to apologize for not being at the city Christmas dinner. I was out of town with my family. But I saw pictures. Everything looked great. Thank you to all who helped and who came out to volunteer and support our community. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. Hope to see you out at the dance. Again, this is a time for us to kind of come together and, just enjoy each other, your family, take a little rest and, recharge. And I just came back from my vacation. So let's try and get past things and work together as a team. And there are some things that need to get done and taken care of. But let's just remember to respect each other and each other's opinions and just move forward. But again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I wish everybody, the community, happy holidays as well.
Go ahead. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
I just
sorry.
want to make sure. Yeah. I also want to apologize for not showing up to the Christmas dinner and the senior lunch. Like Sabrina says, really time to come together during these times. We don't know what everyone's going through, but we should treat everyone with respect for sure. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We are having the dance. I hope everyone gets to come out. Get your tables, get your tickets, whatever it is. It's going to be awesome. You can bring your own food and drinks, so that's even a bigger plus. So, yeah, thank you guys.
I also want to say it was fabulous what we did, Chief. We did they said we were outstanding in our cooking. And and everybody that participated, thank you very much. A lot of you guys probably saw on YouTube the pictures that we post out there, like Chief also. And I'm wishing all of you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and a very blissful one. Safety goes first.
Dorothy, do you have anything to say?
I'm busy writing, sorry. I just want to wish everyone.
Your mic, please.
I just want to wish everyone a happy New Year and Merry Christmas. Everyone be safe and at home and just be safe. Thank you.
I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And yesterday, I was at the Fresno SPCA speaking with the manager. The city of Parlier now has a contract. It's been approved with SPCA for low-cost spay and neutering for owner reclaimed dogs from the pound.
Yay.
Thank you, Sonia, for doing that.
Thank you very much, Michelle. That was very nice. So
No, you already
sharing
spoke, so
information like that is very
thank
important
you.
for the people on
I just
YouTube.
wanted to
Like
say something
also
on
like
regards
the one with the
to
mosquito bait. It'd be nice for us to know,
email,
Michelle,
Berta,
because
that we
that's our lives that they bite us. Any little
I think
information you can help us with,
email
please,
that,
like you did today. That was very nice of you. Thank you.
all the council, as far as Kathy Solorio requesting timesheets of all staff members, you know, to see what times they come in, what times they go home, and when they have lunch, when they call in sick. I addressed it with you on an email, and I said that, first of all, that is not our duty. Again, sometimes people think that their job is to micromanage and come in and watch who comes in, who doesn't come in, when they call off, when they are late. Never in the 9 years that I've been here have I ever done that to you, asked for anything like that. Our job, our fiduciary responsibilities is not to micromanage and not to request timesheets. I know that is a public record, but I think that it's owed to the actual employees, to all the employees, to know that this was being requested from our council member, Solorio. It's not right, because that is micromanaging our management. That's what they're there for. It is their responsibility to, you know, make sure they have a fully staffed department, everything is running smoothly. And to me, I may not always agree with our management, but I do respect that they do their job and expect that they are capable of doing their job. I've not had any problems in the 9 years that I've been here, had seen anything like that. So to me, that is uncalled for, and that's not necessary to be micromanaging to see people's time cards. It's not fair to them, because this is, again, it could be looked upon as a retaliation or intimidation kind of tactic, and it's not right to be doing that. And this is why I'm bringing it up, because I think it's only fair for them to know that this was requested. You know, it is not something that we should have. I don't see what's the point of the matter of us having something like that, because it's not our job to micromanage them. Our employees is only Neil, Sonia, and our city engineer and our planner. That who comes to us for any issues from the city, whether we want to know on something in the planning department, if we want to know anything about the engineering, anything about our city attorneys, cases, whatever, city manager can address all. If there's a concern that comes up about an employee, you can only ask Sonia, well, what's going on? I heard these complaints. And she'll take care of it. She doesn't even have to come back to let us know what she resolved it with. She needs to address it, because that's her staff. We do not micromanage her staff. It is not right. I don't feel that there's a reason for us to be doing that, because it almost seems like you're targeting a person but asking for everybody's timesheet because you're looking at one specific employee. And if that employee ever found out that that's what's being done, that employee can actually sue us for harassment, because it's none of our business of when they come in, when they leave, what they have lunch, if they called off or if they didn't call off. I mean, when their vacation is, that is none of our business. So I don't see the point of it. And I don't understand why that was even given to her, but I know that you were doing it because it's a request and it could be always asked because it could be public record. But I just feel that it's only fair to notify the staff as well what's being asked of them, you know, because they have that right to know that this is being asked. So that is what I wanted to say. I also, in clarification about RFP, you always need an RFP. That is with any city, like I mentioned, is when you go with an engineer, guess what Javier had to do? He had to fill out that RFP, and then you go with the lowest bidder or whoever they decide to go with at that time. That's called equal opportunity. That is how contractors do it. Employers, have to put an application out there, you know, an announcement of an opportunity for them to apply for a position. That is equal opportunity. Contractors, you do a RFP. You give them an equal opportunity to all to apply for the position that is being open. When you go and do a side deal and meet with an actual attorney and have this discussion before it even came to council, that we were even, I was never aware we were looking for another second attorney. I thought it was already resolved because, you know, we keep going back to that again. That is when you do these side deals and meet and meet with them and call them and have this interaction of, oh, okay, I'm gonna put your contract on the agenda so that we can approve you to be the next attorney. You don't do that. Tell me what other city does that, because I have not seen that. And I've talked to a lot of my colleagues, and guess what? None of them do that. It goes through the process, and that is the legal process that we've been talking about. Whether you want to understand it or not, that's on you. You know, you could only explain it. That's all you can do. But if you are refusing to understand it, that's also on you. So with that being said, I know that we have a closed session item. Again,
I need to say something, please.
There is no rebuttal here.
And I need to say something,
wanted to
please.
also say that I was trying to not have a meeting today because I did not want to argue so close to the holidays. I asked Sonia, please, let's not do this. I don't need, can we just get along so close to the holidays? We can start arguing again in the first of the year. I don't feel that it should be necessary for us to do this right now, but it had to happen. It just has to happen. It doesn't matter what time of the year it is, what's going on. It always has to be an argument. So Neil, can you please go over the closed session item, please, and we can move on.
We have a public employee performance evaluation of the city.
Thank you. Is there any questions about the closed session item? Hearing none, okay, so we'll contact you we'll let you know once we're out. Thank you. Okay, there is nothing to report. Meeting adjourned. Thank you. Merry Christmas, everyone.